Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into a literal game changer in storytelling. Just imagine a world where you no longer need a physical camera, a specialized crew, or a multi-million-dollar budget just to make a movie. It sounds completely like science fiction, right? Well, as we'll explore today, it's actually our current reality.
Picture this in your head. A lone astronaut standing on an alien planet. Two suns setting behind purple mountains. Strange bioluminescent plants glowing in the foreground. Think about pitching that cinematic scene 10 years ago. It would have required massive studio backing, a dedicated VFX team, and months of production. But today, you literally just type that exact sentence into your laptop, hit enter, and watch photorealistic footage appear 60 seconds later.
And that is the magical and honestly, for some, terrifying reality of AI video generation in August 2026. No camera, no crew, no budget. You don't need actors or a soundstage to bring an elaborate vision to life. Just you, an internet connection, and a good idea. It's a complete paradigm shift in what it fundamentally means to film something.
Let's get right into part one, the AI video revolution, from magic to market reality.
Now, this evolution happened at an absolute breakneck speed. Back in February 2024, OpenAI announced Sora, and the internet pretty much lost its collective mind over those early demos. Then, throughout 2024 and 2025, tools like Runway, Veo, and Kling launched their own public options, and the floodgates officially opened. OpenAI pushed back with Sora 2 in September 2025, but here is the massive plot twist. In March 2026, OpenAI actually shut Sora down entirely. The pioneering tool that started it all was killed off simply because the competition was that fierce. They moved fast, they iterated publicly, and they overtook them, leading us directly to today, August 2026, where you're generating photorealistic video right from your smartphone.
Moving on to part two, how diffusion models work. Demystifying the magic. So, how does a sentence about a cat on a skateboard actually turn into moving photorealistic video? Well, it all comes down to a diffusion model. Basically, this is an AI framework that generates data by reversing a process of adding random noise. Think of it like that fuzzy static on an old TV screen to an image until it perfectly follows your text prompt. It feels like pure magic, but let's break this down with a super simple analogy so you can really grasp the mechanics here. Imagine a perfectly clear photograph, and you start sprinkling static over it until it's just pure, unrecognizable gray fuzz. The AI actually learns to do that in reverse. It starts with pure visual static. Then, step by step, it removes that noise, acting strictly on your instructions. And it doesn't just make a single image, it generates and links multiple frames that remain physically consistent. So if you asked for that cat with sunglasses on a skateboard, the AI keeps those sunglasses and that skateboard perfectly consistent across every single frame, without them suddenly warping or disappearing.
But here is the part that is truly mind-blowing. As researchers noted, the models absorbed the physics of motion and the behavior of light. Nobody explicitly programmed these things with rigid rules of physics. Nobody typed in code explaining gravity or how a piece of fabric blows in the wind. By processing massive amounts of data, we're talking billions of videos, they just intrinsically learned how light bounces, how shadows fall, and how human expressions change.
Let's look at part three, winning the AI video war, the 2026 scoreboard.
Right now, we've got a few major players dominating the field. Runway Gen 4 is an absolute darling for creative pros because it offers a complete editing suite and true camera control. Meanwhile, Google Veo 3.1 brings some massive firepower with super high quality and deep YouTube integration for content creators. Then you have Kling 3.0, which has emerged as a global powerhouse. It's incredible at animating still images and rendering highly realistic human motion. And of course, Pika 2.0 remains the favorite for social media creators because it's just fast, fun, and totally accessible. The big takeaway here, in the AI landscape, finding your specific audience and moving fast matters way more than just being the first one to announce a product. Which brings us to part four, empowering independent creators, the democratization of storytelling.
You really have to look at the real-world impact to appreciate this. A filmmaker in Mumbai who spent years struggling for funding, she can now use AI to generate a stunning proof of concept and nail her investor pitch. A small business owner in Nairobi can create a polished, professional ad to compete with massive brands at a fraction of the cost. A teacher in rural Canada is keeping her 8th graders hooked by generating custom plate tectonics animations instead of relying on boring textbook diagrams. And a musician in Seoul just solo produced a viral music video right from her laptop. These are tools that used to be strictly gated by million-dollar budgets, now empowering literally anyone with Wi-Fi and a vision.
But we have to look at the other side of the coin in Part 5, the Hollywood job disruption, the reality of the market. Over 100,000. According to a comprehensive Brookings Institution report, that is the number of entertainment jobs in the US alone projected to be disrupted by generative AI by the end of 2026. Now, disrupted doesn't necessarily mean entirely eliminated, but it absolutely means fundamentally changed. The daily reality of these jobs will never be the same.
And this disruption is highly geographically concentrated in major production hubs. We're talking California, New York, and Georgia. We aren't just talking about famous actors or big-name directors taking a hit. This is heavily impacting the entire middle class of the creative industry. Set designers, props masters, lighting techs, and visual effects artists. Because of this, Hollywood unions are actively revisiting and constantly renegotiating AI clauses to try and protect their workers, while visual effects houses are being forced to restructure rapidly just to survive. It's the stark, messy reality of a historic industry undergoing a massive transition.
The contrast we're living through right now honestly couldn't be more extreme. On one side, you have the traditional Hollywood machine. Hundreds of specialized crew members, multi-million-dollar budgets, vast physical sets, complex lighting rigs, and literally decades of institutional gatekeeping. Versus a single independent creator. One person on a laptop, a text prompt, an internet connection, and absolutely zero physical camera equipment.
I think this quote perfectly frames the era we're in. Every democratization comes with disruption. Every gate that opens lets some people through and leaves others behind. Think about it historically. The invention of the physical camera itself democratized portraiture. Suddenly, everyday people could get their picture taken, but it severely disrupted the livelihoods of traditional portrait painters. AI video is doing the exact same thing to traditional filmmaking today. It's an undeniable transition reshaping art and commerce all at once.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a final thought to really ponder as we navigate this wild new era. Would you watch a movie made entirely by AI? Seriously, think about it. If the story was genuinely great, the characters were compelling, and the visuals were absolutely stunning, but you knew for a fact that no human ever actually held a camera, would it still matter to you? Where exactly do you draw the line between the tool and the artist? Thanks for joining me, and I hope this helps you make sense of the incredible shift happening right in front of our eyes.